A woman accompanied her boss to a client meeting, but found that the client who asked her to design a wedding dress was her ex-boyfriend, who had just broken up with her yesterday. The man saw his ex-girlfriend with the boss and pretended to greet him. The ex-boyfriend pretended he didn't know her. The woman had to endure her sadness in front of the boss and responded to her ex-boyfriend with professionalism. For the sake of her work and for the sake of her mother's surgery, she had to be patient and receive her ex-boyfriend, and even for his fiancée personally. Thinking about the past 3 years, her ex-boyfriend never mentioned marriage to her. She even got a fiancé. Right after we broke up, her mood was just like the weather outside the house. She came out of the VIP room. She felt the cold. The boss took off her own clothes and put them on. The woman, her ex-boyfriend, was furious. The boss told the woman that she still had something to do. She asked her ex-boyfriend to take her back. The man was very upset. He kicked on the gas pedal and drove the car away. After the woman got home, she found her mother fainted on the ground. She rushed to call the emergency number. The ex-boyfriend pushed his way in. The man was uneasy. He followed the woman to her home. He took the woman's mother to the hospital. The mother's illness was very serious. The woman was exhausted. The man was very distressed. She went to the bathroom. Her stomach was very uncomfortable. She had an uneasy feeling. She verified it. She was shocked to find out that she was pregnant. Pressure after pressure. She had a feeling of powerless suffocation. When a man saw his girlfriend of 8 years proposing to someone else, he realized that he was just a double in her life. He finally understood why, for 8 years, she never wanted to disclose their relationship. He threw away the ring as a symbol of commitment. He called his mother. He decided to go back to his family. He accepted the marriage that had already been arranged, a man who was already an heir to a rich family. For all these years, he had willingly worked as a secretary for his girlfriend. In the company, he silently took care of her, everything just to protect her side. Everything just to be able to protect her side. Whenever he wanted to disclose their relationship, girlfriend always refused with various excuses. Now he saw his girlfriend's true face, did not hesitate to go home and pack his bags. But his girlfriend and her new fiancé came into the room. The woman asked the man to help her to move her fiancé's luggage to the master bedroom. The man's heart was broken because in these 8 years, his girlfriend never allowed him to stay in the master bedroom. It turned out that it was reserved for this man. The fiancé found that the man's style of dress was like his, but the girlfriend had always bought his clothes for him. It seems that the girlfriend had already started to shape the role of the man's understudy. The fiancé picked up the man's music box again. The man warned him not to move it, but the next moment, the fiancé broke it. The shards of the box scratched his hand. The girlfriend was very angry. The man was very sad because of the music box. The woman gave it to him when he was a child. Ahmet came home from a business trip, but found at home an extra pair of slippers that didn't belong to him. His wife lied that she bought them for him because they were too skinny. That's why they're a little smaller. The man foolishly believed it until he went downstairs to throw away the garbage. He saw in the garbage can torn stockings. He recognized that they were his wife's stockings. The man realized his wife had cheated on him. A few days later, he found out that his adulterer was actually a clerk in the convenience store downstairs. The man felt disgusted. He recruited a female detective and then installed surveillance cameras in every corner of his house to monitor his wife's every move. Female detective was puzzled because of the evidence. Man can let his wife out of the house. Why recruit their own? Take revenge? He wanted to take revenge on the adulterer. Female detective said even if he and your wife hooked up with it, does not constitute a crime at most, just a moral problem. The man says, but what if he's a home invader and a rapist? The man has a plan of revenge in mind. Woman got up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, but ran into her husband making out with another woman. Bad woman arrogantly provoked her. Woman, suddenly disheartened. She drove directly to a villa in front of, to find her long time not seen. And the same disciples of the younger brother woman asked each other still. Love her, a man fell in. The two spent a dream night wake up after the man repeatedly asked to find out. It turned out that the woman's husband betrayed himself. Man decided to help her. At this time, the bad woman mentioned a few days after the partner's party, heard that you have to bring a female companion to attend together. She then offered to go with the man and also agreed to go the day of the partied ban with the bad woman and other partners waiting for the cooperation of the major shareholders. Man also want to perform well. Next door appeared. Actually, his wife's fellow students. This makes the man was shocked. Rushed to go up to say hello. The next second, the major shareholders announced that man, betraying his wife, cheating on his female assistant, decides to cancel his partnership. The man argues that his wife is standing right next to him. Everyone around him thinks that this bad woman is the man's wife, but the next second, the man's real wife pushes open the door and makes her debut. The wife found under the bed an earring that did not belong to her. She did not pay attention to it, but then she found a condom that had not been used for half a year, but the date of manufacture had changed. The woman finally realized that her husband had betrayed her, but she did not reveal it to her face. Instead, she put on a more expensive dress and brought her husband to the jewelry store where the mistress of the house. The woman asked mistress to recommend a ring. The mistress intentionally took out the newest model of the store and taunted the woman about her hand being the oldest one of the more than 10 years ago. The woman asked her husband to help her choose. He chose a more expensive one and bought it. The mistress's face changed. The woman thought that her husband still had feelings for her, for the sake of her daughter to have a complete family. She chose to forgive her husband, but she accidentally found out that all the joint assets of her husband and her husband were all transferred by her husband. The ring that she had just purchased was also a fake. The mistress switched the bag in the packing process. Through this time, she found that all kinds of jewelry and brand-name handbags her husband had given to her before were all fakes. In order to get back everything she had, the woman decided to let her husband taste the taste of being cheated. She found a nanny, but chose the oldest one. The nanny was very puzzled. The woman said she chose her to let her seduce her husband. Just after his wife left, his husband hooked up with his mistress. But all this was seen by the woman, watching the surveillance. The woman called her mother-in-law's family and said she wanted to give them a surprise. Then she asked her subordinates to take the surveillance to the security guards and said that there was a burglary in the house. The woman went to the downstairs and called her husband and said that she was going to come back home. The man was very panicked, and he let his mistress escape through the window. The woman asked her husband whether he was hiding a mistress. The woman pushed the door and went into the room, but the man was already dressed. With a look of innocence and anger, questioned his wife. What did she mean by little bitch? At this moment, the woman's subordinate downstairs told the security guards that there was a burglary in his house, had just escaped through the window, told all the security guards to catch the mistress. The man still denied the truth, took out his cell phone to shoot a video, ready to accuse the woman. The next moment, the woman took out the video monitor to show it to the man. The man was very shocked. He knelt down to the woman and begged for forgiveness. The woman called her mother-in-law's family and told them she had an important announcement to make. The man driving the car was her husband's brother. When he heard the news, he sped up the car.